Every 1,000 years, the gods of all realms gather and decide the fate of humanity. Will humans be allowed to live, or will they be wiped out? Normally, it's an almost unanimous call for survival. But this year, humans have gone too far in their cruelty and lack of faith, so the gods decide on extinction. When at the last minute, the eldest of the Valkyries, sworn protectors of humankind, call for battle. She calls for Ragnarok, a 1v1 battle of human history's strongest versus the gods. This is Record of Ragnarok, written by Shinya Yumamura and Takumi Fukui, illustrated by Ahichika. Hello, and welcome to Manga Mondays, a casual talk show where I talk to you and recommend you manga that I enjoy and I think are great. I'm your host, V Vlogs, and today we're talking about Record of Ragnarok. This one came out of nowhere for me, and I'm sure others feel the same way. Looking on my anime list, the two writers have very few credits, and what they do have is well in the 25 to 35k top-ranked range, which is pretty low. The artist only has this one credit. I think he worked on a guide in somewhere else once, but despite that, his art is amazing. It's really, really good. And I can't believe it. Like, I've never heard of this guy, but he's making some of the best art I've ever seen. All of his environments feel real. All his designs are totally unique and memorable for the characters. Look at Thor. He's got long red hair, a slender yaoi bait body, and a completely unwieldy marble pillar hammer he holds with one hand. This is cool. This is a scary little old man. I never really know what to expect of these characters, but I'm getting a little ahead of myself. A bit of background here. I didn't originally plan to make this video or talk about this manga. I was out of state last week, like I said in my last video, so I planned to just kick it and read some dense Hunter x Hunter Dark Continent style manga all day, so basically just read a book. But what actually happened was I spent 5+ hours in a car all day, and the rest of the time we were hiking, eating, or busting our ass on the slopes. And so, I couldn't really read anything as much as I planned to, focus on a text-heavy story. In between breaks though, I was just peeking at Record of Ragnarok, and before I knew it, I had actually finished it, and it might be one of the best things I've read this year. It was a lot of fun. In brief, the gods have decided to test history's strongest humans of all time versus the strongest gods of all time in combat. There is subversion sometimes in how they do battle. Side story even has a shogi match with a famous middle school teacher, but for the most part, it's just fighting. The story is only about 40 chapters in as of writing, but as I said earlier, each chapter is pretty long, so it feels closer to 100. So far, there have been 4 battles. Each one has been fucking incredible. Like I said in my Kengan Ashura video, the build-up, the backstory, and the battle was a winning formula then for high stakes and emotional investment. Same is true here. You have a rough idea of each character's backstory because they're all historical, mythical figures, but when the matchups are announced and you first see their design, it's always unexpected. Then you get their backstory when they get in the ring, and that's all original too. It's usually a pretty meaty short story that kind of subverts the original one, but has the same kind of ideas. It would have been easy for the team to just run with the original source material and not explain themselves, but they take the time to establish a unique story for every character, and it's really enjoyable and fun to then watch them go fight and have these stakes and see their unique styles. I'm just going to tell one backstory because it's my favorite one, but again, they're all so good. I'm a sucker for shonen, so this is an easy pick for me. So, Heracles grows up in the streets of the dangerous city of Thebes in Greece, and fights for justice, but he's a small kid who begins weak, trains every day, gets just pure muscle on his bones even though he's small, and does enough to get by in the city. But eventually, the gods come down and punish this city because it's gone too far. It's such a big, notorious sinner city. Ares comes down himself to lay waste to the city, and Heracles is there to stop him. Ares is impressed by his bravery and says, "Okay kid, get out of the way, and I'll spare you." And Heracles goes, "No, I'm staying here for everyone. Watch this." And he drinks the god's Ambros, which is supposed to be this legendary drink that grants people power to fight the gods if they have pure intentions. And instead of just sipping it, Heracles drinks the whole thing, smashes it, and becomes this giant, buff Heracles god. And they fight, Heracles wins, and the gods are like, "Okay, we'll let you keep this power since you have good intentions. Come work for us." And Heracles says, "No." "Well, alright, I'll work for you if you give me power, I guess. But you need to not interfere and attack humanity anymore. That's not cool." And the gods agree. And from then on, gods and humans kind of live separately. That was a big turning point in how we got to this point where the gods are like overseen from a distance every 1,000 years or whatever. And it's also a cool establishment for this kid's story. And it's not even the full story. He does other stuff, other things happen, but it's a good taste. And there's a lot of stories like this that are completely unexpected, very cool. For characters throughout history, we've got like Adam from Adam and Eve and his silly retold story. I know it doesn't sound like it would be silly, but if you read it, it will be.
And then you have like Jack the Ripper, who's like they just say he's a killer, but he's like does all this stuff to like trick Heracles, because Heracles is kind of a himbo, and Jack the Ripper is kind of a like intelligent murderer kind of guy, and they actually fight in the streets of London. It's really cool. There's a lot of cool fights. There's a lot of interesting ideas, and it really does a ton. Every chapter is so dense with all this world building for these simple concepts. Check it out. It's good. Normally I would do negatives following this. I don't have much negative to say. I will say that the more recent chapters have gotten to like some espionage in the background of the tournament. Don't really care. That was my also complaint with Kengan Ashura, where it's like, just, I don't care about that. Just finish this main story you've established. But I don't think it'll take away too much. Seems cool. We'll see. It'll be fine. You gotta have intrigue and build a world around the characters to have guidance and have a continued fan base. I get it. It's fine. Anyways, that's all. Check out Record of Ragnarok, support your local bookstore, support your local manga community, and thanks for watching. If you'd enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, let me know. You can follow us on Twitter, you can follow us on Discord. Come hang out. If you like this manga, you might also like Kengan Ashura. I'll put my link to my video up there right now. Another awesome tournament manga with similar themes and world building and character building, and it's great. And also not super long. Have a good one. Peace. I just wanted to share the last page of the first chapter here quick. The only one that I'm able to find ends with, I saw this manga being mentioned multiple times on A, so I tried reading it yesterday and it's fucking hype. Unfortunately, I can't be an active scanlator, but I decided to at least scanlate one chapter so I can let everybody know this manga exists, and I want somebody to scanlate it! Somebody please scanlate this manga! Credits, Sonic, LOL, Spot Healing Brush. Please scanlate this manga, somebody please scanlate this manga, somebody please scanlate this manga. That's all.